So just kind of keep that in mind. You do kind of need to have the school that you're interested in, but you can always move it around. You can always go back and update it. You can make changes to the order. Does that kind of help? Does anybody have questions about that? So they had to change the colleges because the colleges in the past could see which school you listed first, and they started withdrawing their scholarships saying, oh, you wanted to go to Georgia? We're not going to give you any money. So they changed, the colleges will not be able to see what order. The state will be able to see any of your Tennessee schools. Actually, the state will be able to see all of the schools and the order that you listed. The only important part is, as far as Tennessee aid, we'll pay the very first Tennessee eligible institution on your list. Did you have a question?
I have a question, just a comment. So we just did it for my oldest again, he's a sophomore. There's a link that syncs up with your tax documents with the IRS. That link is not be working. It was really confusing. I don't know if that's been an overhaul, but it just, after trying so many times, you may just get to a place where like, what is going on? So I don't know if that's a problem normally, but I just want everybody to kind of be aware, like, you might get stuck there and have to just fill in everything manually. Can you comment on that?
So yes, so I can comment on that because of the new FAFSA changes. So when you fill out the FAFSA for the 23-24 award year, it's pulling in 2021 income tax, and you're having to go to the IRS's website to pull in the information. So right now for this new FAFSA, they're building the IRS's in the FAFSA website. So they should not have that issue, but yes, that's still an issue from the 23-24 award year. But they shouldn't have it 24. Shouldn't, doesn't mean they won't. Just so you know, yes, you may have to manually enter it, but that's part of the process they're trying to fix.
Just kind of want everybody to be aware, it's really confusing.
Don't get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it can happen. You'll still be able to manual. Yeah, you'll still be able to manual. Because that was something they were kind of debating, but yes. I love all of this back and forth, so seriously, you guys, if you have questions or comments, this is y'all's time, okay? I just live down the road. I can be here all night. All right. Okay, so this one, just kind of stuff that I've really already talked about. Best practice ideas is just make sure you create that FSA ID. Go ahead and do that now. If for some reason you already have an FSA ID, go ahead and check it to see if it works. You just go to studentaid.gov, log in. If it's saying we don't recognize you, you can say reset your password. You can reset your username. If you have trouble with either one of those, call the 1-800 number and see if they can reset it for you.
This question. These parents want children to focus over in college at the same time. So is it just one single FSA ID for multiple children?
Yes, for the parents, yes. And so we're going to just go ahead and talk about that. So we'll get to that in a minute. Never mind. So yes, possibly just one FSA ID for the parent for all the kids. Depends on how you filed your taxes. Okay. No, it just reminds me. I have to talk about it. All right, if you did pick up the flyer in the back that talks about the FSA ID, it times out on you. So I have a lot of students that will spend a lot of time figuring out, what question do I want to use? How do I answer this question? And it doesn't let you know that you've been timed out until you're timed out and you have to start all over again. So I do recommend going ahead and creating your challenge questions. You only have to have 4 challenge questions, and then go to the website and then create your username and password, because I don't want you to get frustrated when you see that you spent all that time creating the FSA ID and then you have to start all over again. Challenge questions, just write them down, get them out of the way. All right, so the next couple of slides we're going to show you just screenshots of the FAFSA application. So the student is going to click on Start My FAFSA. The student already has the FSA ID created, so once they log in, see if mine does. Once they click on Start the FAFSA, it'll take them to this page. It'll say, welcome, whoever the student is that created the FSA ID. I'm going to start the FAFSA form as the student. So it's going to ask the student some dependency questions. I don't know if you can see it at the top here. It kind of breaks down all of the questions at the top. But These questions will be questions to determine if parental information is even required on the FAFSA. So let's talk about that. A lot of my students, when they turn 18, they're like, I'm an adult, don't have to have parental information anymore. And you are an adult. Unfortunately, the federal government still wants parental information on the FAFSA, unless the student can say yes to the next couple of slides. If the student can say yes, that they meet the requirements, any of these requirements, they will not have to have parental information on the FAFSA. So are you 24? Are you married? Are you working on your doctorate degree? Are you in the military? Or do you have kids? Next questions. Since the age of 13, were you an orphan in foster care or a ward of the court? Did you divorce your parents? Or does someone other than your parents have legal guardianship? So if the student can say yes to any of these, parental information is not required on the FAFSA. Then the last one, are you homeless and unaccompanied? Then parental information is not required. All right. So that takes the student to the parent wizard, where they'll just, that's just their new word, parent wizard. I just want to say it. It just sounds so weird, parent wizard. So there's some new elements built into the FAFSA to kind of determine if parental information is required, what parent is required. Because not everybody lives in a traditional home where I live with mom and dad. So it will go through questions asking, who are you married? Are your parents married to each other? To determine what parental information is required. So let's just go through some scenarios on this one. Let's say mom and dad's married, and I live with mom and dad. You'll use mom and dad's information on the FAFSA. Let's say mom and dad's divorced, and mom provides the majority of support. So I will put mom's information on the FAFSA. I will not have to put dad's information on the FAFSA. Let's say mom and dad's divorced, mom is remarried, and mom and stepdad provide the majority of support, then I will be putting mom and stepdad's information on the FAFSA. Does that make sense? All right, so examples of parent. I know this sounds silly. I just feel like this is a parent. Biological parent, a step-parent, and married to biological parent. Adoptive parent, unless the student was in foster care. So if the student was ever in foster care after the age of 13, they're independent. Who is not a parent? Grandparents, aunt or uncle, brother, sister, legal guardian, anybody that claims them on the taxes that's not a parent, that's not listed on the first page. Unless they adopted the student. All right, does anybody have questions about those? Well, those are silly. Okay.
Saying provides the